Welcome back to the channel. I'm David H. I'm your host. I'm doing a video on David H. This video is way back when I first started trucking. This was right when I first started doing YouTube, probably first handful of videos. Um, I remember I was driving down the road and I was just so irritated thinking about my training, how my training went. I decided to just turn the camera on and start talking to it. Let's sit back, relax, and watch this video. Oh, and if you're going to Prime, use me as a referral. Just kidding. I don't work at Prime, but usually when it's a Prime video, you got somebody in there at some point wanting their referral money. And sitting here cruising down the road, listening to music, getting all within my brain and thinking. And this is going to be more of, I don't know, a tip, I guess. But a tip. If you get on your trainer's truck and that SOB isn't calling you by your name, just kind of talking at you and not to you, punch that son of a bitch in his face and get off that truck. Oh man, this is bringing back the memories. Oh damn, I remember saying that. Punch that son of a bitch in the face and get off his truck. As I was, I'll never forget, as I was describing it, I was getting angry. I don't think I ever intended to say what I said, but I just did because I got angry. But yes, that trainer I had was horrible. I remember getting on the truck and, he used to just talk at you, not to you. Never used my name. It was the most bizarre experience I ever had. I just, instead of saying my name when we were out in public, he would call me Chuck Norris. I don't know why he did that or what it meant. He always just said, "Oh, it's because you're white and he's white." But that don't make sense. There's a lot of white people you could call me after. Why Chuck Norris and why always Chuck Norris? Why can't you just call me by my name? All right, Chuck Norris, calm down, Chuck Norris. And people would laugh at it all the time. I didn't understand why it was so funny, but I guess it was. I was just sitting here thinking about when I started being trained. I'm out with my trainer for a little over a couple weeks before we get back to Salt Lake. And we go into the office there to set up an appointment not to set up an appointment, we already had the appointment, but we went in to talk to the instructor to confirm everything. We walk into that office and my trainer, I want to just make sure, and he turns and looks at me. What's your name? Over 2 freaking weeks I'm on the truck with him and he doesn't know my name. Yeah, I remember that. I remember how shitty I felt standing there in the Prime building, and we were in the office. I can't remember the guy's name, the coordinator in there, but we were in there and he needed to ask him about something about me, oh, does he need to do this or does that? But he needed to tell the guy, David needs to do such and such. And I remember him walking in there and he goes, "Oh yeah, hey, he looks at me, and he looks at me, what's your name?" 2 weeks. This was 2 weeks after I got on his truck, and the guy didn't know my name, partly because he never called me by my name. He refused to. It was always, "Hey, you, Chuck Norris," things like that. And
you would think the coordinator at Prime would have caught on to that and said, wait a minute, this guy's been on his truck for 2 weeks and the guy don't even know his name after 2 weeks. Maybe we need to take the student into the back here and ask him what's going on.
At that point right there is the first hint where I just didn't like him, and I even called my wife and was kind of upset and pissed off. She's all, you know, just run with it, just get through it, get it over with. Because at that point I was ready for a new trainer. I wish I would have just went with a new trainer. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. After over 2 weeks on his truck, with him sitting 2-3 feet from me, he never thought so much as to learn my name.
Yeah, he never seen me as a person, I guess. I mean, how can you not learn somebody's name after 2 weeks? And or not even try to learn the name. Now, I'm sure some of you guys are going to blame me for it and say, hey, you should have, you know, every time he said, hey, you should have told him to address you by your name. You don't understand. This guy had anger issues. He had to have been bipolar. And just the littlest of things would set him off and he'd go on a tangent. And I just didn't need to hear it. Again, I needed to just get through training and get my own truck to make some money. That was my main concern at that point. Just grin and bear it and make money, get your own truck and get on the road. I was selling a bit or trying to sell a business out in California at the time. My house was up for sale. We bought a house in Missouri that we needed to move into. So there was a lot going on that made me just run with this trainer and deal with what I dealt with.
So I'm thinking to myself, he must have just been saying, hey, and, you know, shouting out things to me, you know, because how do you not use somebody's name?
Yeah.
You know, if someone's sitting there and you want to get their attention.
Look at the old Heartland Express truck is just blowing by me like I'm standing still. That's right. I'm in I was company at the time. So if I was running on my foot, I was doing 58 mile an hour. More than likely, I was running on cruise control at a whopping 62. What was that? That was a Prime truck.
Hey, David, you know, da-da-da-da, not, hey, you. It's, I don't know why, but I've been thinking about this for like the last 50 or so miles, and it's really got me irritated.
It's got me irritated. I feel devalued right now. I kind of feel a little depressed. I'm going to try to pull myself out of this because it's ridiculous. It's like, David, that's from so many years ago. Why are you even letting it affect you? But it's affecting me right now. I mean, I could so easily go into a depression right now. As a bipolar person, I could so easily go into a depression right now listening to this damn video.
I mean, I don't know if I'm irritated or depressed about it, but it's really got me up into my feelings. I'll tell you that. That's for sure.
Yeah, I remember that. I was depressed. I felt like shit. I felt like the more I thought about it before I started this video, uh, I kept thinking, I mean, okay, I always feel like a little person. People who know me know I don't initiate phone calls unless I really kind of know the person, you know, well. I don't initiate phone calls. I don't call family members because I don't see them all the time. They have to call me. A lot of my friends have to call me because if you don't answer the phone or you pick up the phone and say, "Oh my God, I'm busy," like I'm bothering you, I feel devalued. I feel ashamed, like, "Oh my God, I just bothered that person. I'm such a dirtbag." So, you know, it's just a weird quirk. So this guy not learning my name and just calling me Chuck Norris and hey and you and all that really just made me feel like a piece of shit.
You know what? Let me just throw a quick video out, another one, letting the student know. Number one, if your freaking instructor won't even pick you up in the building, they want you to meet them in the street, that's a red flag. Okay, because they're supposed to do 4 hours of pad work with you before you even leave. So if they don't care enough to do that 4 hours of pad work, then there's a problem right there.
And also, how did my trainer get away with not doing that pad work? Because he didn't pull onto the property. He stopped in an actual no parking zone out in front of the Salt Lake terminal, went inside, picked me up, and left. He's required to do 4 hours of pad work. How did Prime not catch on to him and say, hey, you didn't do, turn in your pad work? I can't remember. You did have to turn something in, logs or something, to show that you did that work before you took your student out, I believe. But hey, I didn't even do my logs. Apparently, while I was in training or in the classroom, I was supposed to keep track of on-duty hours and all that. Never did any of that because I wasn't there. I didn't hear them talk about it during orientation. At the first I found out about it is when I had my first student, John, and he had to do it. And they, during training, they said, yeah, you got to get your students' logs and turn them in before you can take them out on the road. So Salt Lake gets away with some BS, I guess.
Okay. There's a problem right there. And then, oh, well, I'm going to do all the driving today because this, it's like, no, it's PSD, brother. It's my turn to drive. Yeah. I ended up not driving for the first 2 days.
2 days. First 2 days, I didn't get to drive because this load he was on was going to be late if he didn't drive really fast. I think, what did he do, 60 mile an hour? So he didn't let me drive for 2 days. That load ended up being a little bit late. He actually checked in that we were on the load a few miles up the road. So Prime didn't know he was late because he followed his GPS. This guy was a GPS follower. He followed his GPS and it took him into a residential neighborhood. I'll never forget watching him maneuver around these little side streets to get that truck out of that neighborhood. And at the time, I wasn't thinking much of it. Like, what the hell? But he actually drove off into a construction zone one time on the freeway. You know how they have you cross over the freeway to the other side because this side's all torn up? He went right into that crap. That's a whole other video.
Then when it comes time to do the pre-trip, and you're told, you already know your pre-trip. Don't worry about it. Let's go. I know my truck. That's a red flag. Get out and walk.
Get out and walk, I said. Okay, what that was all about was the first day out, we stopped at a truck stop to get showers. I wasn't driving yet, and he was saying as we were driving that day is, hey, you're not allowed to drive the truck until you learn your pre-trip. That was kind of like his punishment. If you don't know your pre-trip, you don't get to drive. So he says, you better practice that pre-trip. I said, I already know the pre-trip. I'm good. He goes, oh, really? So when we got to the truck stop, he had me do a pre-trip, the test pre-trip. I passed it. I got one or two things wrong on it that he didn't catch on to. But because I'm kind of a little bit of a smart ass, I questioned him at the end. So did you notice what I messed up on? No, I don't. You didn't mess up. I was like, yeah, I messed up on two things. I think it was two things. So I told him what they were because he couldn't figure it out. That probably wasn't the smart thing to do. That probably didn't made him not like me even more. But that was the last time that truck was pre-tripped. Other than when I would do 30-minute breaks, he taught to do 30-minute breaks in Fuel Island. And I would sit and do everything I possibly could to stall in a fuel island to get 30 minutes in. I would open the hood. I'd wash the windows, then I'd open the hood, fiddle around under the hood. And one time I made the mistake of checking the oil. Oh. It was low on oil, so I proceeded to tell him about that the next day. And he about took my head off. Don't you ever touch the dipstick on my truck, and nobody told you that you can do that. Blah blah blah. It's part of the pre-trip. No, it's not part of the pre. I mean, he's hot. He's fucking angry, screaming. It's not part of the pre-trip. The part of the pre-trip you're learning is to just say you checked the oil there, not to actually check the oil. Don't ever. This is my truck. This is my truck. Oh man, it was a nightmare.
I'm freaking agitated. I guess that's what I should say.
I'm getting
I'm
agitated.
agitated right now. I'm like a freaking animal in a cage and someone's poking a stick at me or something. I'm agitated.
Hey guys, at this point, if you can do me a solid, and if you haven't already, can you go ahead and like this video? I think you've watched enough to know whether you like it or not. If not, hit the dislike button. Do something to engage with the video. Leave a comment. Just say hello. That's all. Let me know that you got this far in the video. Say thank you for the video. Anything. Just say and just leave me a comment. It will help with the channel. We're trying to get the algorithm going again. So like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. It doesn't cost you anything. It doesn't cost you anything. If you really want to help out, share this video on your Facebook platform, on your social media somewhere. Man, you don't even know how helpful that would be.
It's just not cool, man. I feel so ripped off, I guess. I got ripped off, and it's my own fault. I seen all the signs. I knew there was a problem. But, like, I'm sure other people, it's like, well, I don't want to have to wait another week to get a different trainer. You know? So I toughed it out, and I got shit on. Don't do it. You know what? This is your career. I could have very easily have failed when I went solo because of, you know, the problems I encountered that I didn't have the knowledge to deal with.
Yes, exactly what David said. Don't deal with a bad trainer. Get off that trainer's truck. Get yourself a good trainer. I could have very well have been kicked out of trucking with what I did. I didn't know anything. I didn't know how to do a comm check. I didn't know how to fill out any paperwork. I didn't know how to do the trip sheet. I didn't know how to scan in bills. Nothing. When I got on my own truck, I knew jack shit. The only thing I knew how to do is drive from point A to point B on the GPS. That was it. That was it. That was all my training consistent of was I set the GPS, just follow it. Sorry for bouncing around. I'm moving my blanket. I'm sitting on it. It feels weird. So get you a trainer that wants to actually train you.
You know, a lot of people would have just failed at that point and or gave up on trucking. But say, you know what, this is too hard. Why is this so hard? This shouldn't be this hard. And gave up on it. When I first started, man, I don't know. I don't want to say it was hard. It was really stressful. Very stressful my first month. I mean, to where I couldn't sleep. I mean, I went 3 days one time without sleep.
3 days.
I was stressed out so bad on my very first run and all those drops that were not going to work out properly. I went 3 days without freaking sleeping.
Okay, first load as a solo driver. I went home for a few days, too many days probably because I needed to get back out on the road and make some money. I go into driver's line up there in Springfield, Missouri, and tell them, hey, truck number such such, I'm looking for a load. My first load. I don't know. I didn't even know there was a driver's lineup. I just found this out on the fly there. And Larry, he was a grumpy old cuss. All grumpy. Okay, let me see what I got. Well, I got this one going to Washington. I'm like, sweet, a nice long mile load. I'll take it. But it don't leave till tomorrow night. Ah, damn, I can't be here another day. If I had a way to go back home, sure, I'd have stayed one more day, but I'd have just sat at the terminal for a day and a half. Forget that. So I was like, you have anything leaving today? He goes, yeah, I got this one leaving today. It's 4 stops or something like that. I should have never have taken a they should have never given a new driver a multi-stop load. I knew nothing about multi-stop loads. My trainer never did a multi-stop load. So I'm like, well, and you know, the driver lineup guy was making me feel stupid. He was making me feel like, are you a driver or are you not a driver? What are you afraid to take? Okay, I'll take it. So he writes down a trailer number and says, okay, there's your trailer number, yada, 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 blah, 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 blah. Here's paperwork, blah, blah, blah. Okay, go over here. Okay, great. I was like, this trailer's on the yard. He goes, no, you're going to bobtail. Oh, okay, cool. So I get to my truck and I'm like, oh, I'm bobtailing. Are we allowed to do that? So I call dispatch because I can't figure out how to use the GPS on the Qualcomm either. So I call dispatch and I tell him, I said, hey man, can you help me out using the GPS? Well, no, never called dispatch for that. He about fucking strangled me through the phone. What do you mean? You don't need to use their GPS. Blah, blah, blah. Just put your fuel plan in. It'll take you right to where you're going. You know how to do that, don't you? No, I had no clue how to do it. My trainer never even showed me what the fuel plan was. Hit macro 27 and that's it, and I'll put it in the GPS. He would put everything in the GPS. I didn't realize when you're on your macros, it told you what highways to go on to get to that fuel plan, and that's why it always said it's up to you to make sure this is a safe route. Because I never figured out. It's like I get off the interstate and there's the truck stop. How is it not safe between the interstate and the? So, anyways, well, yeah, I know that. Okay, cool. What about bobtail? Are we okay to bobtail out? And I can hear the old eyes roll. Yeah, of course you can. If that's what they want you to do. You know what a trailer pool is, don't you? Oh yeah, absolutely. Nope, didn't have a clue what a trailer pool was. So I finally screwing with the GPS. I don't know what I did, but it popped up and it's going to work. So I'm like, okay, cool. At least I'm going to get to where I'm going right now. So I get to Tyson and I go to pick up the load. And as I'm looking, I parked and I'm like, okay, there's check in. Let me go do this. I can do this. I can do this. I'm looking at this sheet of paper. He wrote down that trailer number on because the whole way there, I'm thinking about this trailer number. And there's a code next to it. I'm like, what the hell is that code for? I think we pick up by codes. And I realized that code is probably, I was probably supposed to put that in the GPS and go over here and pick this trailer up and then go. So I'm like, oh crap, I was supposed to pick up a trailer. I have no hours to go get it now. I have to pick up this load. So I walk in there praying to God, please let them let me take it without. First thing she asked, do you have a trailer and empty? No, ma'am, I don't. Oh, okay. Well, your load's over around back. Thank you, Jesus. It poured on me. That was when I realized I needed to get an umbrella, rain gear, and waterproof boots. I ended up getting none of those, but that's when I realized you need them. I now truck with waterproof boots because I don't fuck around with wet feet. I was drenched picking up that load. Anyways, sorry for this stupid little rant, guys. But then again, that's what these YouTube videos are for. I hope you're enjoying it. Hit the like button.
But as far as I got trained how to pre-plan, one time, hey, I'm gonna go use the restroom when I come back. Show me how you would run this load. So he went in there and I had no freaking clue on it. How the hell did you figure this out?
We were sitting in a Love's Trucks parking lot and we were getting ready to go. And he goes, I got to go use the restroom. He goes, you know what? It's time for you to learn how to pre plan. Go ahead and figure out what time, when we should leave here to get there on time. I think we were getting close to the end of TNT when the hours were up. So he goes in there, and I'm looking at this sheet of paper and the times and whatnot. I have no effing clue how to do this at all. I don't know how to do it. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to just do it like if somebody told me, hey, we got to be here at this time. It's different with the car, though, because it's like cars do 70 mile an hour. These trucks go slow as shit. And we drove 55, 57 in his truck. So I did all this stuff, brought it, and he came and he looked at it. He's like, well, no. I mean, yeah, you could do that, but I would do it this way, which was essentially the same way, but in his words. I had no clue.
It's,
No clue.
you know, we got to go from, you know, we got to go 15, 7, whatever, 1,700 miles. How the hell do I figure that out? It's, at the time, I didn't know how many miles I was driving a day. I didn't know how many miles he was driving a day. And this was like almost when my TNT was over.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't know how many miles we're driving each day.
I had no clue. He never told me anything. He would punch in the directions on the GPS and tell me follow them. That was it. He'd put in the fuel, follow it. Don't touch the GPS. When I would try to change things on the GPS to look to see what the directions were to try to figure out, you know, hey, why is it telling me to go north? Because we got to go south. Well, sometimes you got to go north to go south. Nope, don't touch that GPS. That's my everything was his. That's mine. Don't touch it.
I didn't know how to check that anywhere in the truck. I was on the truck for like a week before I learned that you could see what you have your cruise control set on the little cruise control panel there.
Yes, on these trucks they have. It looked like the Duran tire monitoring system. It was similar to that, and it told, you know, it was when you set your GPS, it told you your speed and all that good stuff. But it was over on the right side, lower part of the dash. On the dashboard itself, on the display there, it would show you what your speed was set for. But his, you know, at Prime, you have these little keypads that for security for the trucks. His, like everything else on his truck in the cab, was broken and it was hanging. So it hanged right in front of that speed. So I didn't even know that existed. So after he yelled at me for speeding one time, he pointed out on there, well, it says right there. Because I was like, dude, I'm doing 50, 58 according to the speed limit, which on the dash it's hard to keep the needle where you want it. And he finally pointed it out on there. I didn't even know what that thing was, to be honest with you. Till he pointed it out and told me what it was. I didn't know what that fucking thing was. Again, he never told me what any of the stuff in the truck did, what it was for. Matter of fact, he didn't even know what some of this stuff was for because there were some buttons or something that I was asking. I don't know.
The one on, you know, he had the older truck, so it was on the right side there. It was that radar system, and then the setting on his dash was blocked by his little.
I'm being passed by Everett Express right there, or whatever they're called. I pass those guys all. I think they're governed at 64, but that cracks me up. Look how fast he's passing me.
Alarm key fob thing because it was broke off and hanging over that. So I used to just drive the truck and play with the cruise control until the GPS said 57 miles an hour. And how I finally figured it out or got told about it was I'm in Colorado going through all those hills, and all of a sudden my instructor looks at me and he goes, why are you driving 60 miles an hour? You know, he was irritated because I was doing 60. I'm like, I don't freaking know how fast I'm going, man. Mad. You know, because
you do that again and I'm getting you off my truck.
Speedometers on these things, you can be doing 60 and you're really doing 58. They're not quite accurate. So at that point, I didn't know there was a speed on the GPS at all because I didn't get told any of that. You know, it was like, here's the keys, drive. Okay, you can keep it in the lane. That's good. You know, I didn't get showed anything on the GPS, didn't get showed anything on the truck. Hell, I had to figure out how to turn the damn lights on. You know, it's like, yeah, it's a car, you can figure it out, but you know what? If a student's getting on my truck and he's got my life in his hands or her hands, well, I won't have female students in his hands. It's like, okay, here's where the windshield wipers are, washer, lights, you know, everything. Here's where your speed is on the GPS. This is where it shows you when you set this. You know, it's here's how to use everything.
Absolutely. If, you know, you bring somebody into a vehicle like this, you want to show them everything, where everything's at. I remember when Melissa was on the truck, I even had her practice with the brake pedal before she started driving to get the feel of how hard it is to push, just for safety's sake. But with how fast these vehicles are passing me in this video, this might be when I was in Little Dirty, which was a little purple lightweight Freightliner, a 2020 Freightliner. And if it was before I was trying to train, like a couple months before I was going to become a trainer, I would have been driving 55, 57 miles an hour, because when I decided I wanted to train, I was running that little lightweight. And he said, you can, as long as you get your fuel mileage down. My fuel mileage was in the crapper. Those lightweights got crappy fuel mileage because they were underpowered, and you really had to burn the fuel. And I always drove, as he remarked it, was you're bouncing off the rev limiter the speed limiter the whole time you're driving. Yeah, I would always put the thing up as fast as it would go and hold my foot to the floor on top of it. So that could be why they're going by me so fast. I might be doing 55, 58, because I drove 55, 58 for about 2 weeks straight to get my speed or my fuel mileage up to where I could become a trainer.
But it just, yeah, man, I just over 2 weeks and doesn't know my name. Doesn't know my freaking name. And then after that, he, I think, called me by my name a couple of times. He always used a quote unquote pet name.
Pet name. When I made this video, I was so afraid of him finding out that I made the video. I didn't want him to know it was me, so I said pet name instead of Chuck Norris, because obviously he would know it was him if it was Chuck Norris.
That was not really cool, but I didn't give a shit. It's like, whatever. You want to call me that? I don't care. You know, he thought it was funny. And it's funny because he thought it's funny that he's calling me this. That he doesn't, you know, that he's making fun of me, and he doesn't think I know he was, but I know he was. I just didn't give a crap. It's like, whatever. Yeah. I don't even know how to feel about that. Now I think about it, yeah, he even sat there and called me that freaking his pet name, which used to irritate the crap out of me. But I don't know. Maybe I should have just pushed him out the door at 70 miles an hour on the freeway.
Pushed him out the door.
Oh man. Yep. It's a piece of work right there. But
this
again, we did have some good times. There were some good times to be had.
Good times were, I can remember two good times. One in Maryland, we stopped and we went to some big marketplace where we had some oysters and whatnot. That was fun. That was good. And then one time in Seattle, Washington, we went to Pike's Place. That was fun. That was good. But other than that, yeah, there wasn't any good times.
But yeah, back to that. Just make sure your trainers treat you with respect. And if they can't learn your name in the first day, there's something wrong with them. They're just not, they just don't care. You know, granted, if you have some strange, hard name to say, they might take a while to learn it, but, you know, my name's David. How do you not know that name after 2 weeks?
Yeah, how do you not know David?
And I think it was like 2 weeks, 2 days. Oh, man. What kind of crap was that, you know? Whatever. Don't let your trainer screw you around, man. They're being paid to train you, where people are going to say, well, they're being paid to train you. They're not being your friend. They don't need to know your name. Yeah, they do. You know what? It's just freaking human decency. You're living with that person. It's human decency to learn the person's name. I don't want to hear this. 10-4,
good buddy.
I don't want to hear this. Well, they're, you know, you're not friends with your student. They're.
Did that really just happen? Did you guys catch that? I said the exact same thing he said on the video. That's funny as shit. Well, I always say that when I hear the CV. 10-4, good buddy.
They're your job and this, that, and the other. It doesn't matter. You don't have to be friends. You don't have to. You don't even have to freaking talk to the guy except with the stuff that's important to train him. but you still need to learn their name. You still need to treat them with respect.
Yes, respect.
But that's just another good thing that's happened to me. All this crap I went through, I think is what's going to make me a good trainer. Because I'm going to make sure I don't put other people through that same crap.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, you have a wonderful day. There it's now it's just a big old river. You have a wonderful day. Like, comment, and subscribe. You know, if I'm
Ring
wrong,
the bell, damn it.
I'm wrong. Let me know I'm
Thought he was
wrong.
gonna say that.
Share it out. Share this out to your friends in PSD
Yes,
that
share.
are going to be
Oh, look,
going
my
through
phone
training.
fell.
Let them know they should.
Don't leave
sure
yet, guys. There's more
treated
video
with
to this.
respect.
I don't know. I must have kept
You know?
rambling.
Don't talk to your trainer. Don't just jump on his truck. Me, I got on my trainer's truck blindly. He didn't know anything about me. I didn't know anything about him. Other than we had a 5-minute conversation, and he told me that he does everything by the rules.
That's right. I do everything by the book. I expect you to work hard and not screw around. Any screwing around, you're off my truck. If you don't act like you're taking this seriously, you're off my truck. Man, he didn't do anything seriously. He didn't do anything by the book. Everything was half-assed with that guy.
Basically, he was letting me know he does everything by the book, and that if I'm not gonna, work hard, then I'm not gonna stay on his truck. That was like our 5-minute conversation, and yeah, he didn't do anything by the book.
He didn't do anything by the book. He didn't teach me nothing except to drive from point A to point B. He didn't teach me how to slide the tandems, didn't teach me how to slide the fifth wheel. He didn't teach me how to do a drop and hook. He didn't teach me how to do pre-trips. He didn't teach me how to properly run a truck at all. Didn't teach me how to do comm checks. Didn't teach me how to do paperwork. Didn't teach me how to deal with customers. Didn't teach me jack shit. Nothing. Most of it, first time I had to slide tandems, I Googled on YouTube out by the back of the truck to make sure I was doing it right. First time I did a drop and hook, I was scared shitless that I wasn't going to do it right. But he was laying in the sleeper. He was laying in the sleeper, PSD. He's laying in the sleeper, and I was so afraid to ask him for help that he's going to yell at me. We're at a meat plant. And I think he already got on me because I parked in the wrong place at the meat plant. I blocked something or something. I can't remember, but he already got on me that day, so I didn't want to ask him anything and get yelled at anymore.
He doesn't do anything by the book. Oh man. But I don't know. I guess if I would have had an hour or so, half hour, 15, a face to face with him, even, I probably would have known, because I kind of knew an hour into our drive that this is going to be fun. And just by listening to him, when I get on the truck, oh yeah, what's your story? Blah 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 blah. And
Oh my God, that was another thing. Two things. First thing, I get on the truck, we leave Salt Lake City Yard, and to get on the, I think it's the 80 right there, you either go east or you go this way to go west. We needed to go west. He's pulling up to it, and you can tell he don't know which way to go. He's going this way, that way, this way, that way. He ended up driving right up the center into the median and almost took out a bunch of poles right there, locked up his brakes and stopped, and turned and looked at me. I'm like looking at him like, what the F just happened? Oh man, yeah, hold on. I should have got out of the truck right there, man. Should have got out of the truck right there. 100% should have got out of the truck.
then an hour later, he's telling me how he can't stand.
Oh, and then this whole thing about, oh, tell me about yourself. I probably talked to him for a good hour, told him my story about my business, quitting my business, buying a house in Missouri, gonna be trucking, we got horses, this, that, and blah, 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 blah. And afterwards, after I told that whole story, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes go by or something, he sits and tells me, yeah, the one thing I don't like about students is when they want to sit and tell me their whole story and everything about them. I felt like this. I felt like this, man.
When people talk, tell them their life story. It's like, man, you freaking told me.
Way station ahead.
Ooh.
You can see by my that I felt like that in this video too.
Let's see if I get pulled in. Let's see if I get pulled in. My right way scale on the trailer says I'm 33,000 pounds.
You're prime.
My math says I should be like 28. So
let's see if we get pulled in. That will be the end of this
the
video.
trailer
we have 1 minute
scale
left.
is
Actually,
out.
about 40 seconds left. So we'll see. That must be where I ended the video.
Go into a scale?
Pass or play, baby. Pass or play. Anyways, like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell. Truck
I only have
David H on
26,000
Facebook.
pounds on my drives.
Let's see.
I was going to move more weight to the drives, but it's like,
Oops,
I'm in the 7th hole. I'm good with that.
Come on, where's the scale
I
at?
love driving in the 10th and 11th hole.
Yeah, I always drove in the 10th or 11th.
Camera.
There we go.
No, we're going by.
We passed. All right.
Oh, it's close.